Hello guys, welcome to Andy Shaw's YouTube channel. Starting tonight, we are going to do a webinar or a webisode on the life of Sardar Patel. Let's go. Episode 1. 18 years after India's first war of independence, which the British called the Indian Mutiny, a boy was born on the 31st of October in 1875 at Nadiad, which is a small town in the district of Khaira in Gujarat, nearly 40 miles southeast of Ahmedabad. The year was significant. In it witnessed the maturing of nationalist stirrings since 1857. In 1875, Bankim Chandra wrote his immortal song Bande Matram. In 1876, Surendranath Banerjee established the political party, the Indian Association. In 1883, the association held the All India National Conference, which was the first stage towards a national parliament. And it was a precursor to the Indian National Congress. Aho Hume, the father of Congress, seemed to have acted on a certain foreboding, according to what he told the Viceroy, Lord Dufferin, a safety valve for the escape of great and growing forces generated by our own action. The boy's father had participated in the 1857 war, and he himself was to grow into a great, fiery, relentless freedom fighter, while his birthplace was to be the storm center of another freedom struggle, a unique agrarian non-violent revolt in 1917, launched by Mahatma Gandhi for the first time in India after his return from South Africa in 1915. The boy was named Vallabh Zavir Patel, later known to millions of Indians as Sardar Patel, a title he earned not by virtue of his birth but by his unique leadership in the Bardoli Satyagraha in 1928. He was the fourth son of Zavirbhai Galabhai Patel, a petty landowner from Karamsad, a small village about 5 miles from Anand. In keeping with Hindu tradition, Patel's birth took place in his maternal uncle's home in Nadiad. Patel's origins were humble. His parents were of average means. Like others in the village, they had no formal education, nor did they possess even the limited sophistication of the city middle classes, let alone of the riches like the Nehrus. His environment, therefore, lacked the city glitter. They were rather rustic. Yet he grew into a great Indian, the unifier and consolidator of a vast country of the size of a subcontinent that faced disintegration on the eve of Britain's decision to relinquish her Indian empire, and which in the process got nearly submerged in administrative and political chaos. On the death of such a catalysm, Patel pulled a floundering nation to stability. A people are shaped physically, mentally, or otherwise by the land in they live in, and the land makes them hardy, honest, and self respecting. Like some other notable areas in India, this has been true of Punjab as a sword arm of India, which bore the brunt of many foreign invasions from the northwest. And it was from the land that Patel's ancestors, the Patidars, are reported to have migrated to Gujarat some centuries ago. In a way, Kheda was uniquely situated, crossed by so many of the chief lines of traffic between upper and central India and the coast, the Gulf of Cambay or Khambat, separating it from the Arabian Sea. Like Punjab, Kheda had settlements of very great antiquity. Between 746 AD to 1290 AD, it was ruled by different Rajput dynasties. Towards the end of the 14th century, it passed under the rule of the Muslim kings of Ahmedabad, and in 1573 transferred to the Mughals. Todarmal, Akbar's legendary revenue minister, had Kheda surveyed in 1590. Between 1720 and 1750, the district was the scene of almost unceasing conflicts between the Marathas and the Mussalman viceroys and nobles, except for a period of 10 years when it was in the hands of the Babi family of Kheda of Ahmedabad. Kheda was ruled either by the Peshwa or the Gayakwads. In 1803, under the Treaty of Bassein, the Gayakwad ceded the British Nadiad, Matar, and Mahuda and granted in perpetual gift the fort and the town of Kheda as a proof of his friendship and as testimony of his sense of the benefit he received from the alliance with the Honourable Company's government. In 1805, the British turned Kheda into a large military station. Towards the end of the first decade of the British occupation, there grew in Kheda a stiff opposition to the new administrative setup, which had drastically curtailed the chief's independence in his own village, so carefully respected during the early years of British rule, and he suffered at once from a loss of position and of revenue. According to the Bombay Gazetteer, the result of the British rule were not unmixed good. The chief and the large landholders felt weakened and depressed. The district officers, and among them the heads of villages, were stripped of their power and influence, and the men of capital suffered both as traders and money lenders. In Nadiad, the opposition was the keenest. Under the influence of the Desai community, some village headmen refused to collect the revenues. The British succeeded in breaking down the opposition. The assistant collector, Captain Bonwall, was sent to arrange a settlement directly with the cultivators. He came down upon the leaders with a heavy hand. 4 Desais from Nadiad were in 1814 convicted of conspiracy and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment and a fine of rupees 1,000. Non-cultivating classes too settled with discontent. The Rajput Gracias or Gracias, the Kohlis and the Bhatts, having lost their former position, were turned into outlaws. On the night of March 17, 1826, a Kohli by the name of Govindas Ramdas and his 500 strong armed followers attacked the town of Thasra with the object of driving out the British officer and establishing himself as a ruler. The British, however, continued to govern Kheda with a firm hand. John Malcolm, the governor of Bombay Presidency, who visiting Kheda in 1830, admitted about the revenue rates were high and ought in some cases to be lowered. He said the cultivators' condition should never be lost sight of. For a time, they may go paying a high rent, but the strain must gradually impoverish them, and in the end will cause a sudden, large, and inevitable defalcation of in the public revenue. Malcolm's visit was in connection with the distressing condition of the cultivators. The name Kheda now the name Kheda comes from Ketaka, a Sanskrit form of Kevda, the sweet scented pandanus. Central Kheda, comprising of Nadiad, Anand and Karamsad, is called Charotar or godly land, a tract of the most fertile and well tilled soil. The people are skillful cultivators and rich, living in large, well built villages. Their fields, yielding the choicest crops, are sheltered by high hedges, and the whole country is clothed with rows and clusters of largely shaped trees. Kheda's population of 782,733 lived in an area of 1,600 square miles, or 489.20 to the square mile, which was quite high for the year of 1877. The district, with a breadth varying from 25 to 40 miles, stretched towards the northeast for over 60 miles along the right banks of the river of Mahi, which separated it from the Panchmahals, Baroda, Bharuch on the east, southeast and south. To the southwest lay Khambat or Cambay, and to the west the river Sabarmati with Ahmedabad beyond. The region's prosperity can be gauged by the total realizable land value of 19.30 lakhs in 1877. Kheda's economy was of the middle class. Though there were no men of great wealth, there was no class of landless labourers. A happy, fairly prosperous middle class contributed to the Patidars' thrifty habits, hard-working dispositions, and enterprising spirit. A few, ignoring social prejudices, crossed the seas to the East Africa in search of better fortunes. Kheda's social and political awakening was evident from its having in 1874 four local Gujarati newspapers: the Kheda Niti Prakash in 1856, the Kheda Vartman in 1860, the Dunyadad and Mahuda Ada Insaf in 1876 or 1878. During 1877-1878, Kheda had 190 government schools, or on an average one school for every 3 villages, with 14,930 pupils on the roll. So here I end episode number 1, part number 1. This is going to be long, but I mean, it is really important that you talk about the most important people in India's history. Gandhiji, Nehru, Sardar Patel. Then you have other greats like Lokmanya Tilak, Bhagat Singh, um, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. That is Lokmanya Tilak. Then you have Bipin Chandra Pal. You have then you have your own Chandrasekhar Azad, you have Rajguru, you have Sukhdev, you have Udham Singh. Yeah, you have legends. You have Ghulam Nabi, you have Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. Then you had Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. You had so many legends. You have so many great human beings who have shaped India in what it is today. India cannot be India if there was no such people like India had. Thank you very much for your time and see you next time. Until then, please see the video, like, share it, subscribe to my channel. If you do not like the video, please say whatever you want to say about the video in the comment section. Thank you very much. Andy Shaw signing off.